Hello and welcome to another edition of Hope College Soccer here on this Saturday night as the Hope College men's soccer team takes on the Knights of Calvin in a renewal of the rivalry. Hello everyone, I'm Tom Zahari here from the Van Andel Soccer Stadium here on this brisk Saturday evening. Calvin sits at 12-0-0 they sit at 12-2-0 overall on this season. Hope sits at 12-3-0. Calvin with the MIAA lead thus far, sitting at 9-0-0 with 27 points, 33 goals for, 2 goals against. Hope sitting at 7-2-0 in the MIAA. Now for those starting lineups, first for Calvin in goal, number 28, Nico Giantsopoulos. Now in the field, number 5, Nick Groenwald. 6, Sean Broekhuizen. 7, Matt Hines. 10, Travis Victor. 11, Mitch Stark. 17, David Watterson. 20, Joe Filippini. 21, Stephen Hooker. Number 22, Reed Bowden. And number 26, Irksy Van Dorney. Now, as Hope is getting announced in front of this Hope College crowd, in goal, number 1, Ethan Beswick. Number 2, then out in the field, number 2, William Bennick. Number 3, Brandon Underwood. Number 4, Corey Stelp. Number 5, Cameron Dice. Number 6, Toby Blom. Number 7, Galvin Midlam. Number 9, Logan Sikinga. Number 10, Josh Hagin. 11, Connor Kogi, and number 16, Tarwo Conbloa.
Number 10, a sophomore out of Kentwood, Michigan, Josh Pagany. Number 11, a senior captain out of
You may
Mason,
hear in the
Michigan,
background
Connor
Paul Boersma
Kogi.
on the PA announcer
For the Flying Dutchman, number 16,
right
a senior
now.
from the Abidjan, Ivory Coast, Taro Conbloa.
Tarwo Conbloa just
The Flying Dutchmen are
announced.
coached by Dr. Stephen Smith and assisted by Mr. Leroy Schott. Now, ladies and gentlemen, would you all please rise to honor America?
And we're going to take a quick
And
break
gentlemen,
to
remove your
get
caps
the
for
national
playing of our
anthem in
national anthem.
before we have soccer. Earlier this season, when these two teams met back at Calvin on September 23rd, Calvin got the better of Hope. 4-1 was the final that night. Hope looking to better that effort this evening. The key to this game is getting past this goalie, Nico Giantsopoulos, only giving up 2 goals in MIAA play. He leads the MIAA in goals against average at .69 goals per game. That is best in the MIAA by a pretty wide margin. Ethan Beswick, third in the MIAA at .99 goals per game. Also key to keeping Calvin out of the win column tonight is keeping number 10, Travis Vector off the score sheet. He leads the MIAA in points at 23 at this point in the season. 17 goals, 6 assists for Victor. He will probably be out there in a central attacking role or out there as a striker. We're 25 seconds away from kickoff. Looking to see who's going to start this one off. Calvin in black, Hope in white. Hope will be moving left to right across your screen. Calvin defending the right side in this first half. Thank you very much for tuning in front of a packed crowd here at the Van Andel Soccer Stadium to see the rivalry renewed between Hope and Calvin. Calvin's going to start with the possession of this one. No, they won't. They had the ball for a quick second, but Hope is going to have possession to start this one off.
That's okay. The more on you, the better, I promise.
We're on it every week, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, I'll tell you what, if it makes you feel any better, Coach makes sure he
Hagene's going to get it started out at midfield along with Midlam. Kambloa on the right side. Midlam here on the far near side, and Hope gets things going by chipping it in deep. Back to pick it up is Bowden for Calvin. He drops it back to Giantsopoulos. Giantsopoulos in the 6-yard box, chips it up ahead, but Hope deflects it, but Calvin comes away with momentarily possession. Hope pounces on the loose ball and chips it back to their defenders. We're just underway here at the Van Andel Soccer Stadium between Hope and Calvin. A pass for Kambloa is intercepted by Calvin. Chipping it up the field now is number 26, Van Dorn. Van Dorn up the left side, passes it up the middle to Victor. Victor on the left side looking for Hines. He does find him in the corner. Hines chips it into the middle. Victor there on it. Shot goes through the box turned aside by Beswick. Rebound out on the left side, picked up by Hope's defense, and into the midfield it goes, but Calvin picks up the loose ball. Scrum for the ball in the middle of the field, and Hope comes away with it. That's Hagene. Hagene drops it back to his defense. Calvin getting that first shot, not a shot on goal. We still stand at 0-0. 1 minute and 10 seconds into this game as Hope brings it up through the middle. They just drop it back now to the goalie, Breswick trying a long ball to the midfield, but that's intercepted and deflected a couple of times. A few headers, comes right back to Hope's defense. Hope chips it up ahead to Kambloa. Kambloa up the wing now to Midlam. Midlam walking it up the right side. Down now into the corner. He's by the goal line. Nice slide tackle made there by Calvin's defense, but it goes out of play into the corner. Hope's first of the game here at 43:15 remaining in the first half. 1 minute and 45 seconds in. Hope sets up the set piece in the corner. Ball sent into the box. Deflected once by a Hope head, and now chipped up ahead. That was Hooker who bounced it up ahead. Here comes Calvin on the counterattack. Ball loose on the left side. Long switch field pass made looking for Stark, but that pass was a little bit wide, and Hope will take over in their own half. Blom will have the throw-in. Blom looking for another Dutchman to throw it to. He throws it to an open area. Won by Kambloa. He drops it back for number 2, Bennick. Bennick sends it up the left wing, up now to Hagene. Hagene has it deflected away from him, out of bounds on Calvin. Hope will throw it in, get things right back going. 42:10 remaining in this first half. 0-0 our scores. Hope brings it into the attacking third. Nice defensive play made right there by Stark as he comes away with it. Stark now leading the breakout, has a couple of Knights with him. Stark still with the ball as he crosses the midfield line, gets it up ahead for Victor. Victor takes a shot that never left the ground into the arms of Breswick. That's the first shot of the game. 41:45 remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score as Calvin now has one official shot on goal. Breswick clears it up to his defenseman, Hope goes D to D now, looking for a long ball, looking for Kambloa. Instead, that goes long into the box, picked up by Giantsopolis. The MIAA leader in goals against per game. That is the guy Hope is going to have to beat if they're going to win this game. He's only given up 2 goals in the MIAA, one of them to Hope in that 4-1 victory that Calvin had. Kambloa now brings it up the right wing. Down into the corner, Kambloa settles it down. Ball deflected by the Calvin defenseman right off of Kambloa. That'll go for a goal kick. We're just under 41 minutes remaining here in this first half. 0-0 our score. And Giantsopolis will set things up at the top of the 6-yard box. Giantsopolis surveying the field before giving that ball a boot. Up on the near side of the field here, a couple of Hope players get a head on it. Ball deflected a couple of times. Last touched by Calvin's number 26, Van Dorn, so Hope will get the throw. Number 4, Stelk with the throw up ahead looking for Bennick. That ball gets deflected, but nice defensive play there made there by Bennick, but it comes right back to Hines. Hines up ahead to Victor, who drops it back for Watterson. Watterson sends a through ball up the right side, but Hope is there. Hope trying to let this ball go out of play, and they do across the goal line for a goal kick. 40 minutes even remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score, as Breswick will now send one long from his 6-yard box. Breswick sends it up ahead. Hope then turns the ball over at the midfield. That's number 17, Watterson, with it. Watterson gets it knocked away from him. That is number 10, Hagin, with it for Hope. Hagin gets the ball taken away from him, and here comes Calvin on the counterattack. Up on the right wing, Calvin has it. Looking for a ball into the box. Calvin sends it in, but Hope denies them the first time. Calvin coming up with the rebound. That is number 17, Watterson. Watterson sending a ball through the air. Victor almost got a head on that one in the box. That's punched away by Breswick. A ball sent right back into the box to Victor, but that ball is knocked away by Hope. Ball goes right back to Victor, and Hope denies him once again. Ball comes back out to Brookhuizen. Brookhuizen gets it taken away from him as he drops it back for Van Dorn. Van Dorn drops it back for his left defenseman, Bowden. Bowden tries to send it back to the middle, but Hope takes it away. Here comes Hope now on the counterattack, trying to get it to Kambloa. Kambloa sends it up the right wing, but there's nobody there for Hope. Number 10, Hagin, tried to get there, but the ball goes out of play for a Calvin Knights throw. 38-35 remaining in this first half as the ball went into the box there on that last possession. Calvin was looking for a handball. It would have given them a penalty shot and a prime place to score in this first half, but the referees did not comply. That ball sent out of play by Calvin, and Hope will throw it in. That's Stelk. Stelk has it now as he gets a return feed and drops it back for his defenseman, Blom. Blom, the central defenseman for Hope, brings it up the middle across the midfield stripe and gets a return feed. Blom tries to pass into the middle. Ball deflected a couple of times right back to Blom. Blom up the wing, trying to give and go there by Hope, but that's taken away by Bowden. Bowden tries a clearing attempt, but that does not get out. Second effort, and the ball gets to the mid-stripe to Victor. Victor weaving his way through the Hope defense. Victor still with the ball. He's got an open man, and he found him. Here comes Calvin into the box, and nice defensive play made there by Hope to clear that one. Calvin almost walking in all alone, and now Hope has it. Bloa tries to get to it. He chips it up ahead, but there is nobody there for Hope. Giantsopolis comes out, and he's going to clear that one into the midfield. Hope there to get a head on it, but the ball comes right back to Calvin. Brookhuizen sends it up the wing, trying to find number 11, Stark. Stark there had the opportunity on that last push there by Calvin, but once again he comes up short. Ball comes right back to the goalie, Ethan Breswick. Sends it up the left wing. Ball sent up ahead now, looking for Hagin. Hagin cannot get to it. Ball sent a couple of times around by Calvin. That's number 17, Watterson, who drops it back for his defenseman. That's Groenwald. Groenwald plays it up the right side, looking to get it over to Van Dorn. Van Dorn gets it taken away from him momentarily, and the ball comes right back to Calvin. 36-36 remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score. One shot on net by Calvin as they play it out of play, looking for a stretch pass to number 7, Hines. He could not come up with it, and Hope's going to get things going here on the near side on their half of the field. Ball comes over to Hope's number 5, Cameron Dice. Dice sends it up ahead for Kambloa. Kambloa through ball up the wing. Hope comes up with it, keeping it right there on the goal line, and that will go for a corner for Hope on the far side. That is their second corner of the game. 36 minutes remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score. Hope with one of their better scoring chances thus far. Ball was sent into the box last time on a corner and sent clear by Calvin. I believe that's Haging down in the corner. Can't tell his number from here. Hope setting things up right at the top of the 18-yard box. Ball comes into the middle, headed out by Calvin into some open field. Nice play made there by Vector. That is Van Dorn. Van Dorn was fouled and then was trying to play it quickly. Hope knocks the ball away. Calvin faithful not all that pleased about that one, but Calvin will now settle it down. 35-14 remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score as Groenwald has it. Setting up the set piece. Calvin going to get some guys up at the top of the 18-yard box.
Now he's on 21.
Groenwald sends it up the wing to number 21, Hooker. Hooker sends it into the middle to Vector. Vector gets it taken away by a couple of Hope defenders and cleared out to Kambloa. Kambloa plays it off of his head, off of Calvin player's head, off of another Hope player's head, back to Kambloa. Kambloa gets it up ahead to Haging. Haging just plays it up ahead into some open field. That's going to roll all the way to the goalie, Giantsopoulos. Giantsopoulos plays it up the wing to his defender, Groenwald. Groenwald gets it up ahead to Hines. Hines sends the ball across the field to Van Dorn. Van Dorn up the right side over to Stark. Stark sends it back to Van Dorn as he sends a cross ball through, looking for Hines. Instead, Hope comes away with it. That is number 5, Cameron Dice, who plays it up ahead, looking to get it to Haging, but he had it taken away from him. Haging gets the ball right back. Haging over to Kambloa. Kambloa has a streaking Haging who finds a nice ball looking left side, and Hope does control it over on the left wing. Ball played back now into the attacking third. Hope has it. That's Midlam with it. Midlam plays the ball looking up the left wing. That pass goes wide, and Calvin will have the throw. 33-40 remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score. One shot on goal. That was made by Stark in this one. Calvin taking their time on the sidelines, eventually do throw it in on that left wing. Calvin's just going to clear it up to Vector at the midfield. Vector can weave his way through Hope defenders as a Hope player goes down. Here comes Vector into the attacking third. Vector with 3 Hope players right around him, plays the ball into the middle. Header, nice save made there by Breswick. Header in the middle of the 18-yard box by Stark, and he could not put it home. Second shot of this, that was not Stark, that was Hooker with the shot just under 33 minutes remaining. Best save of this game thus far by Breswick. That first shot that came in by Vector was just a low-line drive that he just smothered without a problem. This time, that was a nice diving stop by Breswick as Hope brings it across the midfield stripe. Pass goes straight up the line looking for Kambloa, but that pass does eventually roll over the line. Calvin now with the throw just about in the identical spot they had their throw in the last one. Ball played into the middle, looking for Watterson. Instead, Kambloa comes away with it. Kambloa gets it poked away from him momentarily. Ball goes back to the Calvin defense, and they just cleared into Hope's defensive half, where Stelk plays it back to the goalie, Breswick. Breswick sending it up the wing to Stelk. Stelk sends it back to Dice. Dice, Hope's central defender, gets it up ahead and gets a return feed from Blom. Dice still now with the ball, gets it up ahead to Blom. Blom has it right in the middle. He's just going to drop it right back to Stelk. Stelk, just about at the third of the way mark on the field, drops it back for Dice. Dice just sends it up ahead, looking for a long bomb pass, but there are no Dutchmen in the area, and Giantsopoulos will control at the top of his 18-yard box. 31-40 remaining in this first half, 0-0 our score, as Giantsopolis sends this one long looking for Vector, and he finds him. Vector has it in his feet, had a through ball to Stark, but he chooses to delay and now sends that ball up ahead to Stark now on the far side corner. Stark weaving his way back up, looking for a pass over to Hooker. Instead, Hope comes away with it momentarily. Ball comes right back to Hooker. Hooker plays it off of his foot. He thought Stark would be down on the goal line. Instead, nobody was there for Calvin. That ball rolls over the goal line just to the left of the goalie, Breswick, and he will settle it down on the top of the 6-yard box. 31 minutes remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score. Calvin has the only 2 shots on net thus far. Hope clears the ball into the attacking third. Kambloa trying to get to it. Ball still loose. Settled down by Hope at the mid-stripe. Hope walking the ball up into the middle. Nice stretch pass made there for Dice. Dice on the far right side, down by the corner. Dice weaves his way, looking to get into the box, and he does. Plays a little ball through his left foot in, looking for Kambloa at the top of the 6-yard box. That's cleared away by Calvin, but Hope in the attacking third. Kambloa trying to get to that ball before it goes out of play. No call made as 2 players go in there diving for it. I saw a point to the middle of the box right there. I wouldn't have thought that would have been a penalty right there, but that ball rolls over the goal line for a goal kick for Calvin. Giantsopolis sends it up to the near side wing to number 22, Bowden. Bowden sends it into the middle for number 17, Watterson. Watterson back to Bowden. Bowden then sends it into the middle, looking for Van Dorn. Instead finds Hope, a Hope player. That was number 2, Bennick. Bennick got kicked in the shin after delivering this one. He's bouncing around out there looking for a call. No call was made as the ball comes back now into Calvin's box. Settled down by Giantsopolis, and he will just send this one long. Just under 29:30 remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score between Hope and Calvin on this chilly Saturday evening. Paul played up ahead for Dice. Dice has it on the wing, looking for a stretch pass, but nobody in the area. Now making a run for it is Hagin. Hagin does get there. Hagin with the ball in the box. He gets taken down. No call was made by the referee. Hagin still down in the box. Calvin player yelling at him to get up. No call was made, much to the chagrin of the Hope faithful here. And now a play on the near side. 2 players going after a 50-50 ball. The ref did not see it that way, and it looks like there might be a card in this one, and there is. Hope referee looks like he's booking someone right here. You may be able to hear in the background the Hope faithful. No card was shown, so that was number 4, Stelk, who got a talking to by the referee. If something else happens, Stelk will be shown a card in this one. Just under 29 minutes remaining in this first half. Calvin setting things up just on the attacking side of their half. Groenwald arguing with Kambloa that that's not 10 yards away. Groenwald sends the ball up ahead, deflected down by Kambloa. Groenwald then just clears the ball up ahead. This rivalry is getting a little bit heated out there. Players not exchanging too many pleasantries out there on this field. Ball sent up ahead into some open space. Back to pick it up for Hope is Brookhuizen. Brookhuizen battling in the corner with a Hope player. And Hope comes away with it, weaving their way through the middle, and that ball just kicked a little bit too hard and out of the possession of Hope across the goal line and out for a goal kick. Giantsopolis, who has not had a shot on net. He hasn't been tested thus far. Giantsopolis giving up 8 goals thus far this season, only 2 in the MIAA though. Giantsopolis sends it deep, chipped up ahead, looking for Vegter. Instead, Hope comes away with it and sends a pop-up out of bounds. So number 22, Bowden for Calvin, will have the throw on the near side. Bowden running that ball way up, so that ball must have gone out of bounds right away. So Bowden's going to try a long throw into the box. Calvin trying to set something up here with 27.5 minutes remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score. Calvin with 2 shots on net thus far. Hope has not sent a shot on net. Vegter goes down in the box. Referee not giving him the call, though, as that ball is sent back into the midfield. Bowden comes away with it momentarily, and he gets the deflection up ahead for Hines. Hines has it knocked off of his foot and out of bounds. Hope, though, will get possession of this ball off the out-of-bounds play. Ball played into the middle. Van Dorn there for Calvin. Van Dorn goes down, lays on the ball, and to draw that call, he tried to play it quickly, but the referee said that ball never was still. Ball has to be settled down before it can be played on the free kick, and Calvin now will have the ball on the attacking side of midfield with 26:40 remaining in the first half, trying to set up a set piece in this box. It's been about 50-50 possession thus far in the first half. Calvin with the better of the two scoring chances thus far. Header played in the middle by Hooker, knocked down by Breswick. Calvin setting things up, ball sent into the box, deflected a couple of times, but it was a bunch of white shirts in there for Hope. They just play it out into the midfield where number 5, Groenwald, picks it up for Calvin. Groenwald tries a air ball through, but that goes long across the goal line for a goal kick, and Breswick will settle it down at the top of his 6-yard box with just under 26 minutes remaining in this first half. Breswick sends it to his defenseman. Blom sends it across to the wing as Hope plays the ball up the middle. Nobody there for Hope, though, and that ball goes out of bounds. Bowden will have it on the far side for the throw-in for Calvin. Throws it into the middle, looking for Van Dorn, but Van Dorn just let that ball roll through, and Hope's going to play it in deep now, but nothing but black shirts there for Calvin. Calvin's number 11, Stark, has the ball weaving his way into the middle. A couple of Hope players in there. That's deflected up ahead for Hagin. Hagin plays it over to Dice. Dice gets it taken away from him. Thought he was fouled in the process as he left his feet, but now the referee saying that Dice fouled Calvin, so Calvin will set up the free kick just outside of the midway circle. Ball played lightly up ahead to Hooker. Hooker weaving his way into the middle, trying to get into the box, and he does. Hooker playing it to the middle to Vegter. Shot off the post. Rebound cleared out by Hope. Vegter almost added to his MIAA leading 17 goals for Calvin. Almost put in number 18. That one off the post. Calvin playing the ball in quickly off the throw. Hope intercepts. Kambloa plays it up ahead with a head. Intercepted by Bowden. Bowden just chips it into some open area, looking for Stark, but Hope gets there first. That's Blom. Blom plays it off of Stark. Calvin's coach is asking for a handball in the box there, to no avail. Calvin will settle it down at the midfield stripe. Hagin, though, comes back from his striker position and causes a turnover. Ball sent up the wing now to Dice. Dice on the near side has a bunch of black shirts in front of him. Instead, he finds the white shirt in Hagin. Hagin sends it back now to number 11, Kogi. Kogi drops it back for number 4, Stelk. Stelk sends the ball into the middle looking for Kambloa. Eventually finds number 7, Midlam, but Calvin comes away with it, plays it to the mid-stripe to Vegter. Vegter across the mid-stripe looking for some reinforcements. Vegter weaves his way into the middle, leaves it for Van Dorn, who plays it back to Vegter. Vegter weaving his way into the middle, basically trips himself over the ball, but Calvin comes away with the loose ball momentarily. Hope then just plays it right back out into the midfield, played ahead by Bowden. Bowden sends it up the left wing to Hines. Hines, nice defensive play made there by Dice as he comes away with it. Dice tries to chip it up ahead. Hines, though, deflects it out of play, and Hope will toss it in. 22:58 remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score. Calvin with 3 shots on net. Hope still has yet to test Giantsopolis. It's really easy to be the leader in goals. coverage in the MIAA when your defense never allows a shot on net. Through ball picked up by Breswick with 22:40 remaining in the first half. Calvin's had the best two scoring chances in this one, a header from the middle of the box by number 21 Hooker, and a laser beam from the top of the 6-yard box from point blank range off the post by Vegter. Hope has it at the mid stripe, 22-22 remaining in this first half, as Dice has it on the near side now. Dice weaving his way into the middle, gets knocked off the ball, and that will draw a call. Calvin not all that happy about that, but that's basically the first call that has gone Hope's way in this one. Calvin arguing that they got all ball. Hope, though, gets the call. Hagin will set it up. We're about 30 yards away from the goal right now. Hope setting up a set play up at the top of the 18-yard box. Ball sent into the middle, deflected away by Calvin. Rebound popped straight up into the air. Kambloa tries to get ahead on it, but that ball goes wide. Hope still tied 0-0 as the goalie Giantsopoulos is down in pain right now. I think he caught a head on that ball that came into the box. A couple of Calvin players looking at him right now as he is still on his back. He must be all right because I'm not seeing a rush for another goalie to come into this one. Hope, though, will make a substitution, the first substitution of this game. Giantsopoulos still slowly getting to his feet. And we will get a substitution now.
Entering the game for the Flying Dutchman, number 13, David Port.
Now entering the game for the Dutch is number 13, David Port. He comes on for Blom. So we are going to get a resumption of play as Giantsopoulos is up and perky. Amazing how that can happen over the course of 1 minute. Giantsopoulos sends that ball long into the midfield, chipped up ahead with a head, and played back to Hope's defense. That is number 2, Bennick, who has it. He plays it up ahead, intercepted by Calvin. That's Hines with it. Hines up ahead for Vegter. Vegter gets it taken away. Nice defensive play made right there by Bennick as he drops it back for the winger, number 7, Midlam. Midlam plays the ball up ahead into the midfield for number 13, Port, who just entered the game. Port couldn't control it, and Calvin comes away with it. They have it now and bringing it into the attacking half. Had it in the attacking third, but they drop it back to the midfield stripe to number 22, Bowden. Bowden gets a return feed from Van Dorn. He sends it up ahead looking for Vegter. Vegter goes down awfully easy as Hope plays it up ahead. That ball goes out of bounds. He's grabbing at his left foot right now. I think trying to let the referee know that there may be some contact going on right now. Vegter does get up as Hope has it in the attacking third. That's Dice sending it across, looking for Midlam, but that ball goes long. Midlam does pick it up, though, off the goal line, trying to center it into the middle, but that ball is deflected out of play. 19:55 remaining in this first half, 0-0 our score. Hope still looking for their first shot on net as the ball is thrown in. Scrum for the ball comes over to Midlam. Midlam for Hope. Plays it back into the middle, picked up by Kogi. Kogi drops it back for Bennick. Bennick over to Kogi. Kogi over to Kambloa. Kambloa gets it up ahead for Dice. Dice on the edge of the box, plays it to the middle, and Calvin will clear it into the midfield. But Hope still possesses. Vegter coming back on defense as that ball is played up ahead, up the left wing to Midlam. Midlam gets knocked off the ball, knocked down. Nice scrum going right now. Advantage was played to Calvin. Referee deemed there was not an advantage, and Calvin now with the free kick. 19 minutes remaining in this first half. Calvin has 2 men ready for a substitution. We will see who comes on. They will not come on right now as that ball is dropped back off the free kick to Giantsopoulos, who sends it right into the midfield. Hope deflects it up ahead. That's Kambloa. Kambloa drops it back to the defender, who plays it up ahead for Hagin. Hagin drops it back to Kambloa. Kambloa trying to find Dice on the right side. Instead, that's intercepted by Calvin. Here comes Calvin now on the break. Van Dorn up the wing to Stark. Stark weaving his way into the middle. Stark up the wing now to Van Dorn, who takes a shot. That's punched away by Breswick. But Stark regains possession, still on the right side now. That was Calvin's fourth shot of the game. Stark goes down on the right side. That ball, referee who was right there does not deem there was a foul, and Calvin will lose possession.
Number 25, Sam Hanover.
2 Calvin players coming on right now. Number 25, Sam Hanover, and number 14, Garrett Schopp. Hope plays it up ahead off the free kick. They possess in the middle third of the field. Ball played up ahead, looking for Haging. It's deflected off of his foot a couple of times, and Schopp takes it away and draws the free kick for Hope. So fresh off the bench, Schopp has possession of this ball as he brings it right across the midfield line now into the attacking third. He sends it up the wing now to Stark. Stark sending it into the middle, looking for Vegter. Instead, he finds a Hope defenseman. Ball now played right into the box, off the head of number 21 Hooker, but right into the arms of Ethan Breswick at the penalty stripe. 17 minutes remaining in this first half, 0-0 our scores. Breswick sends this one long, looking for Haging. Instead, that's intercepted by Groenwald. Groenwald sending that ball into the middle. That's taken away by Bennick, who leaves it for Kambloa. Kambloa sends it up ahead for Dice. Dice walking his way into the middle, draped by a Hope defender. He leaves it for Kambloa. Kambloa up the right wing. Up ahead looking for number 11, Kogi. Kogi could not get that ball in time, and it goes out of play. No goal kick as it was out of play on the sidelines. Calvin throwing this one up ahead. That's picked off by Hope. Here comes Dice now up the right wing where he is deadly. Dice drops it back to number 4, Stelk. Stelk sends it back to the middle to Bennick. Bennick sending it up the left side now. Back to Bennick. Bennick in the circle, gets it up ahead for Hope's number 10, Haging. Haging drops it back to the defense. Ball played now up ahead to Kogi, who plays it to Kambloa. Kambloa takes a strike from about 25 yards out. That one's turned aside by a Calvin defender. Ball played back now to number 5, number 6, Blom. Hope now has possession. Slide tackle made, attempted by Calvin, and they do come away with it on the far side. That is number 26, Van Dorn. Van Dorn tries to send it up the wing, knocked down by a Hope defender right on the line, and sent to Hope's own box to the goalie, number 1, Ethan Breswick. Breswick just outside of his own box with 15-13 remaining in this first half, 0-0 our score. Calvin with the better of the scoring chances thus far. They've had all the shots on net, lead Hope 4-0 in that department as Kambloa plays it back up the left side. Played up ahead for Midlam. Midlam plays it back for Kambloa. Kambloa with a burst of speed, walking his way into the middle, trying to find Haging on a through ball. That's turned aside by a Calvin defender. Back to number 14, Schopp. Schopp sends it up the wing to Stelk. Stark cannot control it, and Calvin will have to reset back in their own half. That's Groenwald, the central defender for Calvin, sending it up the left side now to Stark. Stark switched sides. He was off on that right side this entire first half until number 25, Hanover, came in. Hanover now on the right side, but that ball's picked up by Hooker. Hooker walking it into the attacking third. Ball deflected a couple of times. That one's going to go out of play just at the top of the, just on the inside of the top of the box. Calvin's number 22, Bowden, will take the throw. 14 minutes remaining in this first half, 0-0 our score. Calvin setting up in the box for a long throw. We'll see how much Bowden can get on this one. You know, Vegter's in the middle there. Ball sent into the box, deflected by a Hope head, but loose to Van Dorn. Van Dorn sends it in. That shot is blocked and sent away for Haging. Haging for Hope. On the left side, drops it back for a defender. Vegter's in the middle there along with another Calvin attacker. Ball dropped back to Breswick, who just chips it up ahead. Breswick gets it up to a Hope player who sends it trying to switch the field over to Dice, but Bowden with a jumping header into the middle, but Hope picks it off. Dice now with possession right into the middle third. He sends it up ahead for Port. Port cannot control it, and it's taken away by Stark. Stark up the left wing now into the attacking third. He gets that ball taken away by Stelk with 13 minutes remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score. Hope has a substitution ready and waiting, but the referees don't let him come on now as the ball's dropped back to Bowden. Bowden over to Vegter. Vegter trying a pass, looking for Stark, but that ball was errant. Substitution now for Hope.
Number 24, Forrest Chong.
Number 24, Forrest Chong will come on for number 2, Bennett. Hope now gets things going once again, sending things up ahead, intercepted by a Calvin defender. 12:23 remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score, 4-0. Calvin with the shots on goal in advantage with some very, very good opportunities. Stark has it now on the far left side. He brings it now weaving his way into the box. He sends it into the middle. Nothing but white shirts waiting for that ball in there. Ball sent back to Bowden, but he gets it taken away by Dice and Hagine. Hagine gets it up ahead. He has Chong with him and Port. He tries a through ball looking for Port. Port does come away with it. Port on the right side. He gets knocked off the ball momentarily. He sends it into the box, but there's nobody there for Hope. Ball comes loose into the midfield. Hope plays it up ahead. Clear ball sent back by Calvin, and Hope will settle things down. 11:38 remaining in the first half. Ball on Hope's side of midfield as Blom sends it across to the left winger. Ball sent now into the middle looking for Port. That pass was hot, rolls off of his foot and cleared up ahead by Bowden, but Hope clears it up ahead. Port looking to wreak some havoc up in the attacking third, but Calvin comes away with it once again. That's Groenwald. Groenwald looking for Stark on a ball up the near side. Instead, Hope clears it back to a Calvin defender, and that Calvin defender sends it hard into the stands. Play resumed quickly up the right side. Hope drawing a foul just outside the 18-yard box. I'd say he's about 25 yards outside on the near side sidelines. That is number 10, Hagine there. He's got Dice with him. About 4 Hope players standing on the penalty stripe. Ball sent into the middle to the 6-yard box. Ball sent up and over the net, but the whistle was blown. Foul on Hope inside the box. So Calvin will have a free kick. A couple of deflections on that ball in the box. The Calvin defender went down. Ball went off the head of a Hope player anyways and up over the net. So no shots on net still against Nico Giantsopoulos. 10-10 remaining in this first half, 4-0. Calvin leads in shots, but 0-0 is where we stand on the scoreboard in the most important category. Giantsopoulos sends it ahead with a boot. Not a good ball, but that somehow rolls through, and Hope will just play it back to Breswick. Breswick's going to try his hand now at the same ball. That's deflected away by Bowden. Bowden gets it up ahead for Stark. Stark on the near side. Up ahead for number 21, Hooker. Hooker gets it taken away by Hope's defender, Stelk. Stelk walking it through the middle, has a through ball to the far left side. Instead, he just drops it back to one of his defenders up to Mal Midlam. Midlam tries a ball up ahead looking for Hagine, and he finds him. Hagine draped by multiple Calvin defenders, still a through ball to Chong, but instead Calvin is there to step up. Ball played back to the midfield where Hope tries to play it up ahead, and that's deflected out of bounds by Calvin. Hope's Chong gets the ball off the throw. He gets it taken away by Stark. Stark sends it up the left side, but there's nobody there except the Calvin bench, so Hope comes away with the throw. Just under 9 minutes remaining in this first half. 0-0 is where we stand. fans don't like that call, as the ball was deemed out of bounds by Hope, but Kambloa comes away with it. Kambloa gets knocked down by number 14, Skop. So Hope will have the free kick from about 35 yards away, just on the right stripe of the box. 8:25 remaining in this first half, 0-0 our score. Hope still looking for their first shot on goal. Dice releases off to the box. Ball sent now into the box, right on goal, into the arms of Giantsopolis. And Giantsopolis will now settle it down as Calvin gets back into formation. That does count as an official shot on goal. So Hope now has one shot to Calvin's 4. As Calvin plays a long ball up the right side, looking for number 25, Hanover. Hanover fighting with Hope's defense. Nice back heel made right there to get Hope away on the counterattack. Hope settles things down, though, on the far side and gets it taken away by Hanover. So Hope will now just knock it out of bounds to keep any other danger away. 7:24 remaining in this first half, 0-0 our score, as Calvin has the throw in on the left side. They drop it back to number 26, Van Dorn. Van Dorn tries to send it into the middle. That's deflected a couple of times. Ball loose in the midfield. Chong tries a diving attempt to get after it, but Calvin comes away with it momentarily, but Heijin knocks it over to Kambloa. Kambloa trying a through ball, trying to find Port. Instead, that gets taken away by Skop. Skop battling a Hope midfielder, just chips it up ahead to Hanover. Hanover's pass is a little errant, and Stelk sends it down the field. Now with possession of the ball is Bowden. Bowden makes a nice move to get into the midfield. He chips it up ahead for Vegter. Vegter into the middle, trying a chip, but that is intercepted by Hope's Midlam. Midlam just drops it back now to the goalie, Breswick, who settles it down. 6:30 remaining now in this first half. 0-0 our score. Ball played up the left side by Breswick. That is a little bit long of Port, and Calvin will just send it right back down the field. Offside flag is up against Vector. That's our first offsides of this game. So Breswick will just knock it up ahead to his left defender, who chips it up ahead for number 11, Kogi. Kogi just drops it back to Blom. Blom trying a long pass, looking for Dice on the right side. That goes off the foot of number 5, Groenwald for Calvin, and back into the box, covered up by Giantsopolis. Giantsopolis just throws it up ahead for Bowden. Bowden sends it long, looking for a Calvin attacker, but nobody there for Calvin. Hopes now returns the favor, and Calvin and Hope's defense are just playing catch right now, but here comes Hope on the attack. That's Dice with it. Dice walking his way into the middle. He sends it up ahead for Stelk. Stelk cannot get to the ball in time. Nice play there by Calvin's defender, as he made sure Stelk could not get to that ball in time. Substitution now for the Knights. Number 18, Austin Jortsema, coming onto the field. Coming off is number 26, Van Dorn. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score, as Breswick has it at the top of his own 6-yard box on the goal kick. He sends it to about the mid-stripe, where it's deflected up ahead to Vegter. Vegter, draped by a couple of Hope defenders. He weaves his way, looking right. Now still going right. He just chips it up ahead. That goes softly into the hands of Breswick. That goes down as a shot on goal. That's not his best effort of the night. He has 3 shots on net tonight, with one of those shots from point blank range off the post. Hope now has it on the near side. That's Dice. Dice sends it up ahead, looking for number 10, Heijin. Heijin has it roll off of his foot, out of bounds, but that was deemed deflected by Calvin. So Heijin will just leave it there for Kogi. Kogi sends it up ahead, looking for Port. Port gets knocked off the ball, and Calvin just sends the ball up into the stands. Just under 4 minutes now remaining in this first half. Ball sent back to Stelk. Stelk switching fields, gets it across to Sikenga. Sikenga up ahead for Midlam. Midlam loses his footing, and that ball rolls over the goal line. So Calvin will have another goal kick with 3:30 remaining in this first half. Nico Giantsopoulos has been busy only on the goal kick front tonight. He's seen one shot come in. That was off of a free kick. An easy changeup just caught into his hands. Calvin, on the other hand, has 5 shots and 2 or 3 quality scoring chances. Giantsopoulos sends this one long, but it's intercepted by Hope's Dice. Dice sends it up ahead for Port. Port on the near sidelines, loses his footing momentarily, and Calvin clears it into the midfield where Kambloa comes away with it. Kambloa playing the ball up ahead for Hagin. Hagin cannot get possession of that ball in time. He was trying to tiptoe the line and settle the ball down in time. That ball rolls across once again for a goal kick. For about these last 20 to 25 minutes, Hope has had a majority of the possession in this half. It's been about even overall for this half, with Calvin getting the better of their scoring chances thus far. But we stand at 0-0 here with 2:25 remaining in this first half. Giantsopoulos sends it up into the midfield. Dice just knocks it back with his head. Looking for Hagin instead, it rolls free to a group of Calvin defenders, picked up by number 5, Groenwald. Groenwald sends it up the wing, where it's intercepted by Hope's Kambloa. Kambloa takes it away and drops it back for Blom. Blom sends it across to Sikenga. Sikenga tries a pass. That gets intercepted. Here comes Calvin now. Battle for the ball at the top of the box. Hope wins that battle as the ball rolls free to Breswick. Almost a breakaway right there for Calvin. That could have been their first goal of the game. Instead, Hope comes up big and does not even allow a shot on goal. Hope controls at the mid-stripe as they drop it back for Sikenga. Vegter in applying some pressure, but it's just dropped back to Sikenga. 1:23 remaining in this first half. 0-0 still our score. Sikenga tries a long pass, looking for Dice. Dice does come up with it. Dice shot! That goes wide. Bad defense right there by Bowden. That ball went over his head. Dice was in all alone. That was a heck of a pass made right there by Sikenga. Dice could not settle it down. His shot just goes to the left of the post. That would have beaten Giantsopoulos if it was on net, but Dice never had time to settle it down before he got his shot off. You may have heard it in the background. We're under 1 minute remaining in this first half, 43 seconds remaining. Goal kick sent forward by Giantsopoulos. It's just sent right back to him. Giantsopoulos will sit on this ball right now at the top of his 6-yard box. He's going to draw Hagin in before he picks it up with under 30 seconds remaining in this first half. Now Giantsopoulos sets it down and now sends it away. Looking for Vegter instead. Hope comes away with it. Chong plays it up ahead with a head and regains possession. Looking for Kambloa. That pass goes long. 10 seconds remaining now in this first half. 0-0 our score. Chong sends it back. Hope just going to play this one up ahead, keep it in the midfield. Chong with the ball at the mid-stripe. He's going to take a long shot as that will do it for the first half of play between the Hope College Flying Dutchmen and the Calvin Knights. We'll be back in about 10 minutes to bring you a recap of that half and our second half of play. After one half here at the Van Andel Stadium, Calvin 0, Hope 0. We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Report. Oh my gosh.
Gabrielle, bring this to Tim.
A reminder to fans that the Night of the Nets shirts will be available through halftime.
Tiffany wants it. Do you see her?
Night of the Nets is a global campaign and partnership to help Sponsorship of the t-shirt launch is made possible through the generosity of Lawrence and Vanderswart. Thank you to Lawrence and Vanderswart for your continued support of Hope College soccer and Hope College athletics.
And we're back to look at some halftime stats as the two sides get back out there to warm up. 0-0 is our score after the first half here. Calvin leading 5-1 in the shots on goal department. Calvin leads Hope 6-4 overall in shots. Goalkeeper Nico Giantopoulos was not tested all that much, the MIAA leader in goals against average. He had one save in that half. Hope's Ethan Beswick with 5 saves in that half. Calvin with 3 fouls in the first half, Hope with 6. Hope had the only 2 corner kicks of this game, and Hope was shown a yellow card in that first half. Number 4, Stelk, was shown a yellow card at 16 minutes and 7 seconds into that first half. Tonight's Calvin Hope soccer matchup is the 96th meeting between the two rivals. Calvin leads the all-time series 51-33-11 overall. Over the last 4 years, Calvin is 6-1-1 against Hope, including a 4-1 victory earlier this year at Calvin. Calvin, under the direction of head coach Ryan Saunders, who was a 2007 graduate of Wheaton College. Saunders is 42-11-2 in 3 years as Calvin's head coach. He is 4-1-1 against Hope. Hope is under the direction of Steve Smith, who is in his 23rd year as head coach. Smith has won more than 76% of his games with a 308-134 record heading into the season. Against Calvin, Smith has a record of 23-20-4. We're about 2 minutes away from the start of the second half. Hope will be traveling left to right across your screen. Calvin will start with the second half kickoff. Looking at some individual stats right now, the MIAA's overall leading scorer, Travis Vegter, with 3 shots on net. Stephen Hooker with the first really nice attempt in that first half with a header from basically the penalty stripe inside of Hope's box. Breswick made a really nice save on that one. Iski Van Dorn with the other shot in that half. And then Mitch Stark had a shot go wide. Best scoring chances of the game for Calvin. One was from Hooker on that shot that was that header with a diving save made by Breswick. The other one came from a point-blank shot at the top of the 6-yard box from Travis Vegter, looking to add to his MIAA leading 17 goals. He sent it directly off the post, and Hope cleared it away. Hope's best chance came late in the second half on a shot that came through from Hope's number 5, Cameron Dice. Nice long through ball came across from Logan Sekenga to Dice, who was streaking free on the right side. Dice had a sharp angle shot. He sent it just to the left of the goal. So we stand at 0-0 entering this second half. Calvin leads the MIAA thus far this season with a 9-0-0 record. Hope sits at second at 7-2. Calvin with 33 goals for. That's most by far in the MIAA. Second is Olivet at 18, and Calvin has only surrendered 2 goals all MIAA in all their MIAA matches. Hope is in second in that category with 9 goals yielded. Time runs out for halftime. Thank you very much for tuning in on this Saturday night here at the Van Andel Soccer Stadium on the campus of Hope College on a chilly evening. The weather was 47 degrees and partly cloudy when this one started, and it has only gotten colder since the sun has gone down. Both sides now getting into formation. Calvin going to get things started in this second half. In the middle of the circle is Vegter. Vegter and Hooker in the middle of the circle. Referee gives the go-ahead, and Vegter sends it back to his defense. Vegter getting a return feed brings it up the middle. He plays the ball off the face of a Hope defender, but the ball comes right back to him. Vegter drops it back for Bowden. Bowden on the left side drops it back into the middle for the central defender, Groenwald. Groenwald sends it up the wing, looking for number 7, Hines. Instead, Hope just kicks it up ahead. Ball played back by Calvin in the midfield, playing in the middle third of the field right now. Bowden chips it up ahead, looking for Vegter. Instead, Hope plays it up ahead. Ball taken away by Calvin momentarily, but Hope comes away with the loose ball. That's Hagin with the ball in the middle. He gets it taken away by Groenwald. Groenwald weaving his way through the middle. He was looking for a through ball, looking for Vegter, but that ball goes long into the arms of Breswick. We're just 1 minute into this second half, 0-0 our score, as Breswick brings the ball up ahead. Sends the long boot up the right side. Kambloa was there, but it's sent back to Bennick. Bennick bringing it up the wing now, looking for Dice. His pass was a little too hard, goes off of Dice's head. Nice play made there by Hagin as he is up there on the forecheck. He deflects it all the way out of bounds in the corner, but off the sideline, so Calvin will have a throw in deep in their own side of the field. Calvin throws it up ahead, looking for Filippini. Instead, Hope deflects it a couple of times, but it comes loose to Stark. Stark crosses the midfield line, drops it back to Watterson. Watterson gets it taken away by Hope's Blom, but Calvin comes away with it once again. Stark has it. He plays it back. Race for a 50-50. Ball is won by Calvin's Groenwald, and Groenwald sends one into the Hope bench with 43 minutes remaining in the second half. 0-0 our score. A little bit of back and forth here to start the second half with Calvin with most of the possession. Hope comes away with it now. That's Underwood who has it in the middle of the field. Underwood has it taken away by number 26, Van Dorn. Van Dorn bringing it up the right wing, stops and drops it back to Stark. Dice pressing back on the back check, but it is dropped back to number 17, Watterson. Watterson plays it to Van Dorn, who chips it into the middle. Back up ahead now to Hooker. Hooker drops it back for Bowden. Bowden up ahead for Watterson. Watterson in the middle. Calvin right now with a lot of passes, trying to keep Hope on their toes. That pass goes a little bit long. If you pass it too much at this level, one's eventually going to go wide. That one goes wide over the goal line for a goal kick with 42-10 remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score. Calvin with the 5-1 lead in shots, but 0-0 in the most important department. Breswick will settle it down at the top of the 6-yard box. He sends it upfield right into that midfield circle. It's chipped up ahead looking for Kambloa. Instead it comes back to Bennick. Bennick for Hope. Has Dice on the left side. Instead he drops it back for Sikenga. Sikenga in the bright yellow highlighter shoes drops it back to Underwood. He gets it up ahead to Bennick. Bennick in the middle, looking for Dice on that long ball. That ball's taken a little bit by spin and sent now into the middle of the box. Coming out to dive on it is Giantsopolis. He settles it down with 41-18 remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score. That's not a shot on net. Giantsopolis has it. He's just going to go and punt it about 2/3 of the way down the field. That's headed out of bounds by Stelk for Hope. Stelk was shown a card in that first half for a rough play. About 17 minutes into that first half, he's the only one in the referee's book thus far. Calvin will settle it down back in their own half of the field. Pass up ahead is deflected, but it comes to Van Dorn, who leaves it up ahead for Stark. Stark drops it back and gets a return feed up ahead for Van Dorn. Van Dorn gets it taken away by Underwood. Underwood's just going to send it the length of the field where Giantsopolis will settle it down. Hagin applying a little bit of pressure, but nothing too major. Ball comes up ahead for Stark. Stark has it bounce off of his foot and come over to Hope's number 11, Kogi. Back to Sikenga. Sikenga bringing it across the midfield line, gets it up ahead for Hope's number 5, Dice. Ball goes out of play off a Calvin player So Hope will have the throw. Sikenga sends it over to Kogi. Kogi sends it back to number 6, Blom. Blom, dangerous pass right back to him. Gets it up the right side, but Hope's Heijin cannot come away with it. It's picked up by Hooker. Hooker sends it up ahead after a couple of deflections. Calvin controls, sends it back to their defender, Bowden. Bowden sends it into the middle. Now running into the middle was a Calvin player. Nice back check made there by Kambloa, but Kambloa cannot control it. Ball sent back and taken away by Bennick. Bennick sends it up ahead for Heijin. Heijin sends it back up to the wing. 39-20 remaining as Hope possesses up the right side. Hope had a streaking player running up the left. That was Kogi, but Hope does not go with the long pass. Instead, they drop it back to the goalie, Breswick. Breswick sends it to his defender, Sikenga. Sikenga up ahead for Blom. Blom sends it back over to Dice. Dice to Kogi. Nice give and go back to Dice. Nice back pressure made there by Filippini. Filippini comes away with it and sends it up to Van Dorn. Van Dorn has his header go a little bit longer than he wanted to over to Sikenga. Sikenga has it knocked off at his foot momentarily, but regains possession. Sikenga up the right side takes that ball now up to the wing. Hope bringing the ball now into the box. Ball sent into the middle to Kambloa. Kambloa! Oh, man, I'm not sure about that one. Calvin defender ran some interference right there. Kambloa could not get a shot off. Instead, Giantsopoulos does pounce on it. Ball sent up the right side of Calvin all the way into the box, settled down by Breswick, who will leave it for a defender. Bennick now has it in his defensive third, gets it up ahead for Kogi. Kogi sends it back to Bennick. Bennick sends it up the wing and up ahead now for Heijin. Heijin settles it down and sends it back to the defense. Or Hope will settle it down. That'll actually go all the way back to the keeper, Breswick. Breswick sends it up the left wing looking for Dice. He finds him. Dice gets the header up ahead. Nice defensive play made right there by Brookhuizen. Brookhuizen sends it up ahead looking for Vegter. Instead, he finds Hines. Hines up the left wing has Vegter streaking into the middle. Hines sends the ball into the middle. Ball sent all the way through looking for Starks, and a Hope defender is just going to get in there, tap it across the goal line for a corner for Calvin on the near side. Calvin's first corner of the game comes with 37-20 remaining in the first half. Calvin with 5 shots on goal to Hope's 1, but we stand at 0-0. Number 26, Van Dorn, will have the corner. Calvin setting something up in the middle of the box. 1 player standing on the goal line, 5 into the middle. Ground ball sent through to Vegter. Vegter sends his shot wide. But that was deflected, so Van Dorn will set up another corner on the near side. It's Calvin's second corner of the game. Van Dorn. We'll see if they try something different. Nope, another ground ball comes through. Hope reads it this time, though. And Sikenga will send it long up for Heijin. Heijin has it on the near side. Nice play to weave through some Calvin defenders. He's draped by 2 Calvin defenders. Playing it up ahead. That ball rolls free, though, to Watterson. Watterson sends it back to the keeper, Giantsopoulos, who sends it long, looking for Vegter. Instead, Vegter does come away with it. Vegter battling a couple of Hope defenders. Vegter has the ball deflect off of him and come back to a Hope defender who just flicks it out of bounds. You can see why Vegter's the leading scorer in the MIAA when he's causing havoc like that one. 36:05 remaining in this first half, 0-0 our score. Calvin won the first meeting early in the month of September, 4-1 at Calvin. We stand at 0-0 right now. Long throw sent in by Bowden right into the middle of the box. Ball is loose and Breswick pounces on it. Breswick's going to let Hope get back into formation with 35-35 remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score. He just rolls it up ahead for the defender, Blom. Blom sends a long pass over to Dice. Dice sends it into the middle looking for Underwood. Instead, Calvin comes away with it. Calvin sending the ball up ahead, deflection into the middle, nobody there but white shirts. That's Underwood who comes away with it for Hope. Underwood drops it back and then sends it up over to Heijin. Heijin sends a pass over to the right wing where Hope has it there. That's Midlam. Midlam drops it back Ball, dangerous ball to the middle, goes over to Bennick. That we're going to have an advantage called, and we'll see if a card is shown here. Referee going into this pocket. He pulls out the book. That means there's going to be a card shown here. Calvin going to be shown their first card of the game. That looks like number 26, Van Dorn, as he is shown a card 10 minutes and 3 seconds into this half, 55 minutes and 3 seconds into this one. Hope's Stelk was shown a card in the first half at 16 minutes and 7 seconds. Hope's going to set this one up inside the circle just on the attacking side of midfield. Hope has a bevy of players up at the top of the 18-yard box where that ball is sent. Ball deflected a couple of times, comes free, and the offside flag goes up. And Hope was offsides, I believe. That was Underwood from up here. We'll see if I can get a better number. Look at that number. That was Underwood, who was offsides. Hope's first offsides of the game. Only the second one called overall in this one. Giantsopolis will settle it down and send it long. Ball deflected, comes free to Vegter. Vegter on the left side. He tries to chip it off a Hope defender. It does go off of that Hope defender, but out of bounds. Vegter will get things going right away. He passes it up ahead to Hines. Hines sends a cross into the middle of the box. Hope deflects it once, but it comes free over to Starks. Starks with the ball on the right side. Has it in the corner, spinning away from a couple of Hope defenders. Sikenga knocks it away from him, and Dice sends it up the left side. Nobody there for Hope as it rolls into their bench. 33:55 remaining in the second half now. 0-0 our score. No shots have been registered on net for either side in this half. Ball comes free at the half line, sent up into the air. Ball still free. Calvin flicks it up ahead. One more header, and the ball comes loose to Van Dorn. Van Dorn gets it taken away from him by Underwood, but it goes out of play. Filippini will have the throw. He sends it up ahead to Vegter. Vegter has 3 Hope defenders right on him, and Underwood's the one that comes away with it. Underwood sends it up ahead, but Hagin wasn't there. It comes loose now over to Watterson. Watterson with the ball sends it back to Bowden. Bowden going to switch fields here. Brings it across now to number 6, Brookhuizen. Brookhuizen walking his way up the field. The central defender finding his way up into the attack. Dice comes away with the ball, and he is tripped up. Foul called against Calvin. 32:50 remaining in the second half. Hope comes with the free kick. They just drop it back and set things up. Bennick with it. Bennick's just going to run back with it. He's being pressured by a couple of Calvin attackers. He just sends it into the midfield, where Calvin comes away with it. That's number 17, Watterson. Watterson stops with it, plays it back to his defender, Bowden. Bowden drops it back to the central defender, Groenwald. Groenwald playing catch with Bowden. Bowden's just going to switch fields here, and it's intercepted by Hope. Hope's trying to get the ball up to Hagin. Instead, it gets deflected off a couple of Calvin feet, back to Hope's Underwood. Underwood trying a long ball, trying to find Hagin. That's how Hope had their best opportunity in the first half, was on a long ball. Hagin comes away with it, drops it to Kambloa. Kambloa trying to get in there all alone. He runs into a Calvin defender as the ball rolls free, covered up by Giantsopolis. Nothing all that dramatic happening right there. Giantsopolis just going to get up on top of that with 31:45 remaining in this second half. 0-0 still our score. Long boot sent into the middle. Takes a high bounce. Hope gets ahead on it first as Bennick comes away with it. Bennick sends it up to Midlam. Midlam sending it up the wing, looking for Kambloa. Ball comes long. Kambloa gets a deflection. Ball comes back to Giantsopolis. Giantsopolis tries to play the ball up along the left wing, but that goes out of bounds, so Hope now has it in the attacking third. They drop it back to the midfield. That's number 11, Kogi with it. Kogi has it in the middle. Kogi just drops it back. Bad pass gets deflected right here, and here comes Calvin on a possible 2-on-1. That is Calvin now walking it into the box. Ball played into the middle. Nice sliding stop made there by Hope. Ball played up ahead. That pass was made, and Hope's player got tripped up on that one. I believe that was Stelk who made the sliding step, got up, ran that ball up ahead, and he drew the foul with 30-40 remaining in the second half. 0-0 still our score. Still no shots have been registered on goal this first 15 minutes of the second half. Hope has it now in their defensive third, just passing the ball through the middle, trying to get things set up. Bennick now has it in some open space at the midfield line. He has the ball just roll off of his foot, but gets the ball up ahead to Haging. Haging up ahead to Dice. Dice on the left side gets it taken away by number 17, Watterson. Watterson plays it back to number 6, Brookhuizen. Brookhuizen sends it back to the keeper, Giantsopoulos. Giantsopoulos sends the ball up ahead, deflected now over to Hooker. Hooker gets a return feed a couple of times. Now sends it up the right side to Stark. Stark walking his way into the middle. Stark sends it back now to Bowden. Bowden bringing it up the left wing. He sends a through ball up ahead. On the left side, ball sent into the middle, deflected a couple of times and cleared, but Calvin still controls. Calvin walking the ball into the middle. Bowden takes a shot. That goes softly into the arms of Breswick, as that is the 6th shot of the game, the first shot of the second half for Calvin. 29-23 remaining in the first half as Dice has it on the near side. He drops it back for his defenseman, Sikenga. Sikenga tries a pass up ahead. That's picked off by Brookhuizen. Brookhuizen sends it up ahead now to Vegter. Vegter walking his way into the middle. Vegter battling Bennick. A couple of Hope defenders get back. Ball sent now up the right wing. Picked up by Stark. Stark has it in the corner. Stark drops it back to number 17, Watterson. Watterson weaving his way into the middle, tries to get into the box. That gets taken away by Dice. Nice play there made by Dice as he chips it out of bounds. But it goes off of a Calvin player. Okay, that's what I thought. Hope Dice went back to pick that ball up like he was going to throw it in. The referee said, no, no, no. This is Calvin's ball now down in the corner for a throw. Bowden had the long throws in the first half. We'll see if that's him. I can't find him down in the corner, but Calvin is set up at the top of the 6-yard box for the long throw. That long throw does come in. Deflected off ahead. Could not tell who that was. That was number 22, Bowden, with the throw, and that ball comes right back to the same spot. So Bowden's going to throw it in. 28-10 remaining in this first half, 0-0. Our score is Bowden will go for the long throw. Bowden throws it right into the middle. And Calvin scores. I'm not sure how that call got away with it. That ball went right into the middle. Definitely off a hand of a Calvin player right there. All the Hope people saw it. You might have heard everybody yelling, hand, hand. Ball comes loose, right place, right time. Guess who it is? It's Vegter. Vegter puts it into the back of the net, and Calvin now leads Hope with 28 minutes remaining in the second half. Calvin 1, Hope 0 on Calvin's 7th shot on goal. Now Hope's going to have to play some catch up right now. They just chipped the ball up ahead off the kickoff, out of bounds. Ball sent now up ahead. Vegter does get credit for the goal. Ball chipped up ahead now. Here comes Calvin once again up the left side. That ball's chipped away. Vegter is the one who is down in there. Some physical play going on in the corner, and Vegter gets called for laying a shoulder into a Hope player. Hope going to play the ball off the free kick, just sends it back into their own box. With 27-22 remaining in this first half. 1-0 Calvin with the lead. Vegter almost coming away with the ball, trying on a slide tackle right there. Hope now has to push. Sikenga up ahead to number 7, Midlam. Midlam switching sides of the field. He was on that right side at the start of the second half, but Dice is over there now. Dice is the one who has it. Dice weaving his way into the middle, trying to get the ball into the middle, but that's intercepted by a Calvin defender, sent right back to Bennick for Hope. Bennick sends it up ahead into the midfield, intercepted by Calvin, deflection on the clear, and Calvin does clear it up ahead into the midfield on their second attempt, up ahead to Hines. Hines drops it back to Bowden. Bowden Up ahead to number 17, Watterson. Watterson walking it up ahead. He drops it back for Bowden. Bowden playing the ball into the middle, looking for Vector. That's deflected by a Hope player, but it comes right back to Calvin now on the near side, right across the midfield stripe. That is number 20, Filippini. Filippini gets a return feed from his winger and now sends it into the middle. A little bit of an errant pass, but Calvin still comes away with it. 26-20 remaining in the first half, 1-0. Calvin with the lead on the right foot of Vector with his 18th goal of the season. To put that into perspective thus far, the Hope has only scored 14 goals all MIAA season. So Vector is having a heck of a year. Hope controls on the right side, long ball looking for Dice. Dice sprinting his way up the right side. He gets knocked down by a Calvin defender, but no call is made as Dice is the one who initiated the contact. Calvin comes away with it. That's Bowden. Bowden sends it up the wing for Hines. Hines looking for Vector. That pass goes a little bit long and will go the length of the field back down into the box, picked up by Breswick. Breswick's been really good in this game. It was just a deflection. Right place, right time for Vector to bury one into the open net. That's why Calvin has a 1-goal lead here in the second half with 25-20 remaining. Hope controls, bringing the ball up the right side to over to Dice. Dice has Hagin up ahead if he can find him, but that ball goes out of bounds as Dice had nowhere to go. He was cornered in by a couple of Calvin defenders, and that ball goes out of bounds. Hope has a couple of substitutions waiting in the wings right now with 25 minutes remaining in the second half. Ball gets deflected a few times, and Hope eventually comes away with it, looking to maintain possession, drop back to Hope's defense. Ball played up the left side, looking for Midlam. Midlam cannot get there. Ball play was out of bounds, so we're going to have a stoppage of play as two more Hope players come onto the field.
Number 12, Andreas Schletta. Number 26, David White.
Schletta and White, the two people coming on. Bennick and Dice will be coming off for Hope. 24-20 remaining in this second half. Ball played out of bounds on the right side. Calvin with the throw in. Ball comes over to Vector. Vector drops it back for his midfielder, number 21, Hooker. Hooker sends it across to Van Dorn. Van Dorn sends it back to Bowden. Bowden tries a long pass. That gets intercepted by Hope, who has to have another goal if they want to take this one. Has to have a goal if they want to take this one to overtime. They're being outshot 7-1, but Hope comes away with it, bringing the ball up the middle. Ball comes loose to Hagin. Hagin with the ball. Has Midlam on the left side. That ball was deflected away by Calvin, who sends it out of play with 23-32 remaining in the second half. Calvin leading 1-0. Hope with the throw on the far side, bring it in and just are going to send it back to Breswick. Breswick settles it down and sends it over to Sikenga. Sikenga plays it up the middle to number 6, Blom. Blom sends it right back to Sikenga. Sikenga sends it up the left side to Midlam, who has it at the midfield stripe. He tries to send the ball up ahead. He chipped it straight up into the air, but then laid a nice little hit into number 20, Filippini. Filippini went down, drawing the call with just under 23 minutes remaining. Filippini switches the field right over to Bowden. Bowden walking his way into the attacking third, gets it up ahead for Vector. Vector drops it back for number 17, Watterson. Watterson plays it up the left side to Van Dorn. Van Dorn drops it back for Bowden, who gets it over to Watterson. Watterson tries a soft pass up ahead. Nice play by Bowden to come away with that ball. Bowden plays it up ahead to Hines. Hines on the left side trying to play it into the middle. That gets deflected, but right back to number 22, Bowden. Bowden for Calvin's going to try his luck now. Takes it to the goal line and stops. Bowden with it in the corner. He drops it back for number 26, Van Dorn. Van Dorn cross into the middle, off the head of Vector, but that one's blocked by Sikenga. Ball comes loose to Starks, but nice back check made right there by Hope's Kambloa, and he still gets there in time to make sure that ball doesn't go out of bounds, and then he makes an errant pass with 21:50. Ball goes out of bounds, and Calvin will have the throw about 35 yards from goal on the near side. Number 21, Hooker throws it in and gets a return feed. Hooker up the right side, weaves his way into the middle. Hooker now into the box on the right side. He plays it up ahead and runs straight into a Hope defender, pushes him, falls down, and then looks for a call. That one's not going to get called, as Hope now gets the goal kick with 21-25 remaining in the second half. Calvin leads 1-0. Breswick will settle it down at the top of his 6-yard box. Wouldn't be surprised to see Midlam get the ball here on the near side. Ball makes it about a third of the way up the field, and Calvin comes away with it. Calvin just sends it right in nicely to Breswick, who will pick it up. Calvin leads 1-0 on the score sheet. 7-1 in shots on goal thus far. Vegter with his MIAA leading 18th goal. That ties Olivet for the second most goals by a team. Vegter has 18 by himself. Olivet has 18 as a team. Hope losing their composure a little bit with another errant pass up the far side. Calvin going to make a substitution now.
Number 25, Sam Hanover.
Hanover comes in for the Knights. Hines is going to go out, so Hanover will probably take his spot over at that left midfield position with just over 20 minutes remaining in the second half. Calvin leads 1-0. Bowden with the long throw in up the wing. He throws it to an open area, but Hope comes away with it. Blom sends it back to the goalie, Breswick. Breswick will settle it down at the top of the 18-yard box. Sends it away with the left foot into the midfield, but Calvin comes away with it. Ball comes loose, and Calvin comes away with it once again. Back heel made right there by Van Dorn up ahead to number 17, Watterson. Watterson on the near side just drops it back to the defender and gets a return feed over to Van Dorn. Van Dorn back to Watterson. Watterson playing it up ahead, looking for a little bit of give and go with Van Dorn, but he cannot get it. Ball loose on the near side, and won by Hope. That ball went out of play. A quick stop as Forrest Chong comes in on the substitution. 19:24 remaining in the second half as Calvin fouls a Hope player. Sekenga will get things started again as he switches fields at midfield. Hope now sends it into the box looking for Hagin. Instead, Calvin comes away with it, chipping it up to Van Dorn. Van Dorn on the right side. He gets it taken away by Hagin. Hagin coming away with the ball. Brings it, walking it his way into the middle. Midlam got knocked down away from the ball by Van Dorn. Van Dorn's got to watch himself right now. He already has a yellow. That could have been a second yellow very easily. Hagin's going to take the free kick for Hope on the near side, just about 35 yards away. He sends it into the box. Calvin with the deflection away. That ball comes over to Hooker. Hooker just sends it back, picked up by a Hope defender who sends it right back to the top of the box. Nobody there for Calvin. Race for the ball, won by Calvin. Van Dorn up to Vegter. Vegter coming in on a 2-on-1 with Van Dorn. Vegter sends it over to Van Dorn. Van Dorn has it at the top of the box. Van Dorn from the penalty stripe with the left foot into the back of the net. Calvin now up 2-0 on Hope. Nothing the goalie Breswick could do about that one, as Calvin celebrates right at the midfield line away from the fans right here. 2-on-1. Hope got caught with some long passes in. Not enough people back on the defense. Vegter gets the assist to widen to get his second point of the night. That is now his 25th point of the season. Calvin going to make a substitution now as Hope starts things off with 18 minutes. Van Dorn gets the goal with just over 18 minutes remaining in the second half. Hope really has to press now if they want to get back in this. Sekenga up ahead, gets it over to Hagin. Hagin just outside of the box. Hagin in the middle, leaves it for Chong. Chong back to Hagin. Hagin, nice defense right there made by Calvin. And here comes Calvin once again on the counterattack. This is Van Dorn. Van Dorn up ahead to Vegter. Vegter loses possession of the ball to Blom, who makes a nice play getting that ball back into the box. We'll see if Calvin is going to really try to press the counterattack right now. Hope really has to push to get into this game. Mind you, Calvin has only given up 2 goals all MIAA play. Hope has to score 2 here if they are going to tie this one up. Ball controlled by Hope at the midfield stripe. Sent across over to number 11, Kogi. Kogi sends it over to Sikenga. Sikenga up the left side gets a return feed from Schletta. Schletta cannot control the ball as that ball comes loose to number 6, Brookhuizen. Brookhuizen sends it long, and Calvin's just going to try to kill some time. Basically 10 guys on the defensive side. Vegter, the only guy on the offensive side for Calvin right now. They're just going to try to push any advantage they can on the counterattack. Hope has to be the aggressor right now as Kambloa brings it up ahead. Kambloa trying a ball to Schletta. That's intercepted by Brookhuizen. Brookhuizen gets it over to Van Dorn. Van Dorn towing the line. He weaves his way past one defender. Gets it deflected away by another Hope defender, picked up by Dice. Dice coming up the left side, gets it up ahead for Schletta. Schletta on the left side. Gets the ball slid away from him by Filippini. Out of bounds for a corner kick here on the near side. This is Hope's third corner kick of the game. Paging is down there along with Dice. Dice is going to be the one to take this one. Hope has almost everybody up in the box. They have 8 players up in the box right now. 7 players in the box right now. The only 4 who aren't. The goalie, a couple of defenders, and Dice himself. Dice sends it in right to the top of the 6-yard box. That gets deflected off the head of Stelk. Stelk, though, sends it wide, and that ball goes out of play for a goal kick. 15:35 remaining in the second half. 2-0 our score on the goals from Vegter and Van Dorn, both here in the second half. Calvin leads 8-1 on the shots on goal total. Giantopoulos not tested at all in net thus far. Hope's best chance was late in the first half.
Now to the game for the Flying Dutchman, number 3, Brandon Underwood, and number 7, Gavin Mickle.
So Hope makes a couple of substitutions, trying to get a couple of players out there right now. Underwood out there along with Medlem. Excuse me, number 26, David White. Medlem was already out there. He was just on the near side. Schletta comes off for Hope after playing about 5 minutes. And another Hope player coming on. He just doesn't have a jersey on yet. Getting his jersey on as he's running onto the field.
Also entering the game for the Flying Dutchman, number 8, Miguel Ramirez.
So that is number 8, Miguel Ramirez, who ran onto the field late there. So Hope making 3 substitutions, trying to get as many fresh bodies as they can to run with players like Vegter. Vegter draws the foul from Hope. Oh, no, Vegter's the one who committed the foul as he went down trying to slide that ball away. And Hope comes away with it. Hope has 15 minutes. They have to score 2 right now. Referee still stopping time. I'm not exactly sure what the delay is right now. So we're going to get back going now. There's 15 minutes of play remaining here in the second half as Hope trails by 2. Sikenga has it on the near side. Just about the third of the way mark. He drops it back to the goalie, Breswick. Sends it long up the right up the middle. He gets it up ahead for number 3, Underwood. Underwood chips it up ahead, taken away by Calvin and sent the length of the field. Calvin's just trying to kill time right now. They have a 2-goal lead. They don't need to do anything else. Calvin deflects it right back to Hope's defense. Kambloa comes away with it. He almost got it taken away by Van Dorn, but instead he gets it over to Sikenga. Sikenga up ahead, getting it to Underwood. Underwood stops, but gets it taken away by Van Dorn. Van Dorn plays it out of bounds, but he has had a very nice second half for Calvin. Van Dorn and Vegter have definitely been the guys to talk about all this game, and they have the 2 goals. They've been rewarded for their efforts. Kambloa comes away with the ball in the midfield. He gets it up to Chung. Chung drops it back to Kogi. Kogi gets it up ahead to Underwood. Underwood weaving his way to the middle. He plays the ball over to Midlam. Midlam takes a shot. That gets deflected into the middle and cleared away by Calvin. Calvin now bringing the ball up the left side. 13:50 remaining in the second half. Long pass over to Vegter. Vegter gets a foot on it and plays it right off a Hope player. That one goes out of bounds, and Calvin's going to make a substitution now coming onto the field.
Number 3, Michael Beard. And number 18, Austin Georgema.
So Micah Beard, number 3, and number 18, Austin Georgema, come onto the field for Calvin. And one of those players coming off is Vegter. So Calvin plays the ball into the box right off the dangerous ball, right off the head of Van Dorn. That one goes out of bounds with 13:05 remaining in the second half. Hope didn't have a lot of people back on that free kick right now. There were 3 free Knights up for Calvin right in the box right there. Lucky for Hope, that ball went wide. Breswick plays the ball up ahead to his defender, Sekenga. Sekenga has it on the near side. He plays it up ahead for Dice. Dice is just going to have to turn back as Calvin is turning up the pressure right now, trying to make sure Hope can't even cross the midline. Kambloa is going to try his best right now. He stumbles over the ball a little bit but regains possession. He brings it up the middle and sends it up the left wing to Dice. Dice has it in the middle. He drops it back for Kogi, who plays it up ahead for Sekenga. Sekenga with a nice spin move and then tries to tackle Calvin player, and Calvin's going to take the foul on this one. I don't think any of the Dutchman faithful are going to complain much about that one, but Dice now will set things up now for Hope on the set piece. Dice about 30 yards away from net, right on the near side, just about 5 yards from the sidelines. Hope has a bunch of people up in the box trying on this set play. 11:50 remaining as Dice sends it into the box. Ball up into the air. Punched away by Giantopoulos. Nice play made there by the keeper of Calvin. Hagin came away with it momentarily, but it was knocked off of his foot out of bounds. Hope now controls on the near side, but first, Hope is going to make one more substitution. Stelk comes back into this game. Coming off of the field is Ramirez. So Hope controls on the sidelines, trying to get that ball up, looking for Midlam. That was looking for Hagin down in the corner. But that ball goes a little bit long and out of play. Calvin's going to take their time, chew as much clock as they can for this time. 10:59 remaining in the second half. Giantopoulos will set things up at the top of his 6-yard box. Giantopoulos sends it long now into the midfield. Kambloa gets ahead on it first, and it comes over to Dice. Dice working his way up the middle. He gets it up ahead for Underwood. Underwood battling 2 Calvin defenders. Underwood gets pushed off the ball, and Calvin kicks it out of bounds. 10:35 remaining now in the second half. Hope needs 2 goals. Ball played back to Kogi. Kogi drops it into the middle to Chong. Chong is going to drop it back to his defender, Blom. Blom going to work his way now into the attacking third. Blom tries to leave it for Midlam, but it's taken away by Calvin's Hooker. Hooker sends it up the wing looking for Stark. Stark stumbled over that ball as he sends it back now to Calvin's defender. 10 minutes remaining now in the second half. 2-0 Calvin with the lead as they control on the near side. That is number 18, Georgema, who had that ball taken away from him. Ball comes up the right wing now. That is Midlam. Midlam weaving his way now into the middle. He gets taken down, but no call is made as the referee deemed that Calvin got the ball first and then played the body. Number 10, Vegter, is going to come right back into this one. He's going to take his spot back up as the striker for Hope, for Calvin, as they lead 2-0 with 9:15 remaining. They have the ball on the throw-in over on the far side of the field. Ball comes right into who else but Vegter. Vegter playing the ball into the middle. He gets it taken away by Kambloa. Kambloa trying to come on the counterattack. He gets it up ahead to Underwood. Underwood in the circle, weaving his way into the middle. Underwood has Hagin, finds him on the right side, trying a little give and go back to Underwood, but that pass was just a little bit long, and Giantopoulos will just pounce on that one just above the penalty stripe with 8:45 remaining in the second half. Calvin leads by 2 as the ball is deflected a couple of times through the midfield. Ball played back now to Hagin. Hagin just drops it back, but that's intercepted by Vegter. Vegter just going to drop that ball back to number 20, Filippini. Filippini sends that ball long. Ball deflected back to the left defenseman, Bowden. Bowden sends the ball into the middle, looking to Vegter. Vegter has it right at the top, just to the right of the penalty stripe, and I don't know if he was surprised he was that wide open. He never got his feet underneath him. The leading scorer, the MIAA, just misses again from point blank. He had a shot from the 6-yard box in the first half that he sent off the post. This one, he could have sealed this deal with 7 minutes and 50 seconds remaining and made it 3-0, but Vegter sends it wide. Hope now has it on the near side. That's Dice. Dice sends it back. Looked like it went off the hand of Sikenga. Ball then deflected out of bounds, and Hope will have possession on the near side. Sikenga drops it back for Kogi. Kogi gets knocked off the ball momentarily, but gets it up ahead to Chung. Chung drops it back to Sikenga. Sikenga avoids the slide tackle of Van Dorn and walks his way into the middle. Calvin, though, comes away with it. That's Vegter. Vegter through the middle, weaving his way into the attacking third. Vegter into the box now. Vegter shot. That one goes wide. But was it deflected there? Yes, it was. It will be a corner for Calvin with 6 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in this second half. Watterson's going to check back into this one with just over 6:45 remaining in the second half. Calvin leads by 2 as Van Dorn sets things up on the near side corner. Van Dorn sends it into the middle, but Hope is there to defend. Hagin comes away with the ball. He has Dice. That pass is a little bit behind him, or Dice could have been off to the races. Ball deflected a couple of times off of Dice's feet and out of play. Calvin's ball on the near side. 6:15 remaining in the second half. Calvin leading 2-0 over Hope. They have the MIAA lead at 9-0 overall. 9-0-0 overall, looking to go 10-0-0 and defeat Hope twice in MIAA action, who sit at second at 7-2-0 in the MIAA. Here comes Hope now up the middle. That is Kogi, who sends it over to Sikenga. Sikenga trying a cross over to Midlam. Ball comes over to Midlam, and a giant collision in the box. Giantopoulos got the better of that one. Midlam left his feet trying to get ahead on it. So 50-50 ball, you can't go after the keeper like that, and Calvin will get the ball inside of their own box. They're going to take their time setting things up, trying to chew as much clock as they can to defeat Hope. It is 5:25 remaining in the second half. Hope trailing 2-0 as the ball comes up the near side. Long pass looking either for Vegter or Van Dorn. Hope takes a pass that goes off of Van Dorn and out of play. Schletta checks back into this game for Hope with 5 minutes remaining. Sikenga sends it up ahead. He gets it to Hagin. Hagin over to Dice. Dice weaves his way back, but that's not the way Hope needs to be going right now. He gets it to Sikenga. Sikenga over to Kogi. Kogi, Dice passes it up ahead, but that gets intercepted by Watterson, who sends it up ahead for number 25, Hanover. Hanover gets a return feed from Vegter. He drops it across. Calvin now plays it into the box, but there's nobody there but Hope's number 3, Underwood. Underwood plays it up the wing to Midlam. Midlam with 4:30 remaining in the second half plays it over to Kambloa. Kambloa sends it across to Sikenga. Sikenga drops it back to his defense. 4:20 remaining now as a long ball is sent up the middle, but Calvin controls it. Ball comes back to the midfield to Sikenga. Sikenga up ahead, gets it over to Schletta. Schletta plays it up ahead looking for Dice. That gets deflected over to Chong. Chong from just outside the box drops it back to Kambloa. Kambloa weaving his way into the middle. Kambloa takes a left-footed shot. That gets blocked. Rebound loose in the midfield and sent back to Calvin. Calvin now controls, sending it back into the midfield where Hope picks it up. That is Kogi with 3:45 remaining in the second half. 2-0 Hope trails Calvin. Sikenga has it on the near side. Sikenga drops it back to Kogi. Kogi Drops it back now all the way to his defender. Hope now trying to set things up. They do not have a lot of time to get past Calvin's stingy defense thus far. Ball played up the sideline. Nice play by Midlam. Midlam gets it poked off of his foot and out of bounds with 3:15 remaining. But the referees deemed that Midlam was the one who played it out of bounds, not Calvin, as I originally thought, and Calvin will just send the ball the length of the field. Hope will settle it down in their own half. Back to the goalie, Breswick, who sends it into the midfield. Hope midfielder got pushed. No call was made as the ball is still loose out in the midfield. Kogi comes away with it. Kogi has Midlam and gets it to him up on the right side. 2:45 remaining in the second half. Calvin leads 2-0, and they have possession of the ball. Ball comes over to Vegter. Vegter has a streaking player up both the right and the left sides, but Hope has him draped so much he can't get anywhere. Ball comes back to Vegter on a deflection. Vegter working his way through the middle, gets knocked off the ball, but it comes over to Van Dorn. Van Dorn trying to find Vegter once again. Instead, it goes off the left foot of Sikenga and out of bounds with 2:20 remaining in the second half. 2-0 Calvin with the lead. Calvin going to take their time on the near sideline, trying to just waste more time. Van Dorn sends it in the middle to Vegter. Vegter just sends it straight up into the air. Breswick is going to corral this one. With 2 minutes remaining in the second half, Hope trailing by 2. Breswick's just going to send this one long on the punt. Hagin came away with it momentarily, but Bowden takes it away from him. Hagin returns a favor and brings it up the right side. He gets it up ahead for Kogi. Kogi has it taken away, but it rolls out of bounds with 1:35 remaining now in the second half. Hope trailing by 2. Ball played across the field, but there's nobody but a Calvin player right there. That's Van Dorn. Van Dorn just plays it into some open field. Vegter was there momentarily to get it, but Dice comes back on the back check, just plays it to some more open field. Hope is now needing 2 goals in 1 minute and 20 seconds here if they're going to tie this up in regulation. Ball loose in the midfield, picked up by Van Dorn. Van Dorn plays it up ahead for number 21, Hooker. Hooker weaving his way into the middle. Hooker now into the attacking third, has a player on his left, and he finds him. Calvin shoots, saved by Breswick. Nice soft shot into Breswick's legs. 1 minute remaining now in the second half as the ball comes into the midfield. Ball comes loose in the defensive third for Calvin. Van Dorn just plays it up ahead. Ball comes back to Hope's defense. 40 seconds remaining now as Dice has it at the midfield. Schletta has it on the near side as that ball is chipped up and out of play. Sikenga will have the throw in with 30 seconds remaining now. Calvin fans starting to celebrate on their sideline. Ball sent up to Hagin. Hagin looking for Midlam. It gets taken away by Bowden. Bowden just sends it to the midfield stripe and out of bounds with 15 seconds remaining. The coach is getting to the midfield stripe with 10 seconds remaining. Just going to shake hands right here, say job well done. Job better done by Calvin tonight as Calvin sweeps the MIAA play away from Hope this year. Calvin defeats Hope 2-0 on goals from Vegter and Van Dorn, both in the second half here. Thank you very much for tuning in on this Saturday night here from the Van Andel Stadium. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will be back next week as Hope is going to take Hope is actually done with their home play for the rest of the MIAA season, so we will talk to you later. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Tom Zahari for all of us here at the Van Andel Stadium. Calvin 2, Hope 0. Thanks for tuning in, and have a fantastic night, everyone.